All right, get ready, because today we're diving deep into something that honestly might sound a little basic at first. The
Oh.
Seinfeld Strategy.
Ah, the don't break the chain method.
Exactly. But stick with us.
Yeah.
Because as we dig in, you'll see there's actually a lot more to this idea than meets the eye.
It's funny, isn't it?
What's that?
How a technique a comedian used to rate jokes
Right?
can apply to almost any goal you can imagine.
Seriously? And that's exactly what we're going to explore today.
We are.
How this super straightforward method can totally change how you form habits, get things done, and ultimately achieve those big goals you've been thinking about.
I'll break it all down, not
Yes.
just what the strategy is, but the psychology behind it.
Love that.
And even some of the downsides and challenges,
Oh, yeah. Got to keep it real.
Of course.
So the story goes Jerry Seinfeld, to get better at his craft, would write jokes every single day,
Every day.
and he'd mark his progress on a calendar.
I love that.
It's like a game, almost.
It is, it
Yeah.
is. And that visual representation of your progress, that's key.
It is.
Like a chain of X's, you
Oh,
know?
yeah.
It becomes so motivating. It's like a scorecard, and you just don't want to lose.
Okay, before we get too into the why, though, can you break down how it actually works? I'm picturing myself with a calendar and a big red marker right now.
All right, so the core idea is this. You pick a task that's directly related to your goal, something you can do every single day, even if it's just for a little bit.
Okay, so let's say I've always wanted to learn to play the piano.
Okay, yeah?
Would my daily task be something like practicing for 15 minutes?
Perfect example. Every day you hit that 15 minutes, you get to mark a big X on your calendar.
It's like leveling up, but in real life.
Exactly. And just like in a game, you get hooked.
For sure. Like, I've got a 10-day streak going, can't stop now. But what's really happening in our brains when we see that chain grow? That's what I'm curious about.
Oh, that's where the psychology comes in.
All right, lay it on me.
So one of the main things is this thing called operant conditioning.
Okay.
Every X on that calendar, it's like a little reward.
Right, a little dopamine hit.
Yes, you're basically training your brain to want that feeling of accomplishment.
So it's not just me forcing myself to do it every day. It's like my brain is starting to look forward to marking that calendar.
You got it.
Wow.
But there's even more to it than that.
Really?
Some people think that these kinds of visual cues, they tap into like a primal reward system in our brains.
Oh, interesting.
Think about our ancestors, right? Seeing tangible evidence of progress.
Okay, yeah.
Like a bigger pile of food or a sturdier shelter.
Makes sense.
It meant survival.
So we're like hacking our ancient brains with a calendar.
In a way, yeah.
I never thought of it like that. And this visual proof of being consistent, does that tie into like self-efficacy, that belief in yourself?
Absolutely. The longer that chain gets, the more you start to think.
Like, hey, I can actually do this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It shuts down that little voice in your head that tells you you'll never follow through.
It's proof right there on the calendar.
It is. You can beat procrastination.
This is making me totally rethink how I approach goals.
Really?
Yeah, it's not just about setting a goal, it's about building a system that practically guarantees you'll stick with it.
That's the whole point of the Seinfeld strategy.
It is.
It's not about relying on willpower.
Which can be tough.
It can be so fickle.
Yeah.
It's about creating a system that sets you up for success.
Okay, hold on. Before I get too excited and start covering my entire house in chains, I do have a question.
Shoot.
The source material really emphasized that this isn't just for comedians or wannabe pianists, right?
Oh, absolutely not. You can use it for just about anything.
Okay, good.
Like, imagine something as simple as building a daily reading habit.
Okay, yeah.
Even just committing to 10 pages a day.
I could see how that chain would keep me going, especially if I hit a book that's not really grabbing me.
Right.
Like, just 10 more pages and I get my X.
Exactly. And as that chain grows, you start to see yourself differently.
How so?
You become a reader, someone who actually does what they say they're going to do.
Huh. It changes how you see yourself.
It really does.
So it's not just about the reading. It's about the story you start to tell yourself about who you are.
That's a great way to put it.
Interesting.
And this applies to more complex skills, too.
Okay, like what?
Say you want to learn, I don't know, Spanish.
Oh, I've always wanted to learn Spanish.
Instead of overwhelming yourself with hours of study every day.
Right, that's the problem.
It is.
You feel like you have to go all in right away.
You do, but with the Seinfeld strategy, you could just do 15 minutes of Duolingo each day.
Okay, that feels much more doable than, like, becoming fluent overnight.
Haha, exactly.
Like, okay, I can do 15 minutes, get my X, one step closer to speaking Spanish.
And those little steps, day after day, add up to some serious progress.
They do.
Especially with that visual reminder of the chain.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so we've covered reading, language learning. What about something bigger, like a huge project at work?
Oh, it can be a lifesaver for that, too.
Really?
Think about it. You're launching a new product instead of getting totally overwhelmed by how huge the task is.
Easy to do.
It is.
So
You just
easy.
break it down into small, daily actions.
So instead of launch new product, it becomes write 200 words for the marketing copy, or design one piece of the website, or reach out to 5 potential customers.
Yes, exactly. And suddenly that massive project doesn't seem so scary anymore.
Right? It's like each X on the calendar represents a step towards actually making it happen.
It
I love
does.
that.
It really is a secret weapon against procrastination and overwhelm.
Okay, but before I get too carried away here,
Mm-hmm.
we do have to talk about some of the downsides because nothing is perfect.
True.
And I'm already thinking about such challenges.
Like what?
Well, what happens when life gets in the way and you miss a day?
Oh,
Does
yeah.
the whole chain just explode?
That's something we hear a lot, and honestly, it's a valid concern.
It is.
Seeing that chain broken can be pretty discouraging.
Ugh, I can imagine.
It can feel like you failed,
Yeah.
like all your hard work was for nothing.
Okay, so then how do you deal with that?
Well, that's exactly what we're going to cover in part 2 of our deep dive.
Oh, all right. Cliffhanger. You've definitely got me curious.
Good.
But I think for now, my brain is officially full of Seinfeld strategy.
Haha, rest up, because in part 2, we're going to dig even deeper into this fascinating method.
I'm ready for it. Okay, we're back.
We are.
Ready to dive into part 2 of our Seinfeld strategy deep dive?
I'm excited.
Me too. So we covered a lot in part 1.
We did.
The basics, the psychology behind it, how it can be used for all sorts of things.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's time to get real
Oh, yeah.
about the challenges.
The real world, right?
Exactly, because life happens.
It does.
Vacations, deadlines, unexpected things popping up.
You can't always expect that perfect chain.
You can't. So what happens when you miss a day? Does the whole thing just fall apart?
That's a big fear a lot of people have.
It is.
And it can be really demotivating to see that chain broken.
Oh, yeah.
It can feel like you failed.
Yeah.
Like you've lost all your progress.
That sinking feeling, I can imagine it now.
But the most important thing to remember is perfection isn't the goal here.
It's not.
It's not about building an unbreakable chain.
Oh, okay.
It's about building consistency and resilience.
So it's more about the big picture, the overall trend, rather than being perfect every single day.
Exactly. This is a marathon, not a sprint.
I like that.
You know, there will be times you stumble, you need a break, you get off track.
It's like those runners who train no matter what the weather's like.
Yeah,
They don't just stop because it's raining. They adapt and keep going.
that's a great way to think about it.
Thanks.
And that's the mindset you need for the Seinfeld strategy. When you miss a day, don't beat yourself up about it.
Don't dwell on it.
Don't let it derail your whole progress.
Okay.
Just acknowledge it and get back on track.
So it's like, okay, that happened. Tomorrow's a new day. I'm going to get back to my chain.
Exactly.
I can do that.
And, you know, sometimes a missed day can actually teach you something.
Really?
Yeah, it can highlight an obstacle in your routine or show you where you need to adjust things.
Oh, that's a good point.
So those missed days can actually help you in the long run.
To make your strategy even better.
Right, but, you know, another challenge people run into,
What's that?
setting unrealistic goals.
Yeah, getting a little too excited.
They get so excited about the chain, they pick a daily task that's just too much.
So, like, deciding to write 5,000 words a day when you've never written more than a grocery list?
Exactly. That's how you burn out fast.
It is. It is.
You have to remember, the Seinfeld strategy is about consistency, not intensity.
Okay, so start small, build momentum.
Exactly. Don't underestimate the power of those small, consistent actions.
Small but mighty.
They really do add up over time.
This reminds me of my friend who used the Seinfeld strategy to train for a marathon.
Oh, nice.
He started by just walking around the block every day.
Uh-huh, that's great.
And he slowly increased his distance week by week.
Smart.
And a year later, he finished the marathon.
That's awesome. It's about setting yourself up for success
Mm-hmm.
by starting at a point you can actually maintain.
Yeah, even on your busiest days.
Exactly.
And there's also the mental side of it, right?
What do you mean?
The Seinfeld strategy is all about delayed gratification.
It is. You're putting in the work every day, but you might not see those big results right away.
And in our world of instant gratification, that can be tough.
It can be. It's easy to get discouraged.
For sure. I want results now, not 6 months from now, you know?
I get it, but one thing that can help is shifting your focus.
Okay, from the outcome to the process.
Exactly. Don't fixate on the end goal. Celebrate those small wins along the way.
So instead of thinking I'm not fluent in French yet,
Right.
it's more about enjoying those 15 minutes of Duolingo each day and recognizing that I'm learning.
Yes. Each X on your calendar, that's a win.
It is.
It shows your dedication, your commitment.
Okay, I love that. It's like shifting from scarcity to abundance.
Oh, I love that.
Instead of what I haven't achieved, I'm appreciating the journey and the little wins.
That's powerful.
It is.
And, you know, the Seinfeld strategy isn't just for individuals.
It's not?
It can be really powerful for teams and organizations, too.
Oh, tell me more about that.
Imagine a company where everyone from the top down embraces this idea of consistent, incremental progress.
I'm picturing like a giant wall calendar with everyone's chains on it.
Ha ha, I love it. But seriously, think about the impact on the team,
Yeah.
on productivity, on the whole company culture.
Like everyone's working together, not just on their own tasks, but on building something bigger.
Exactly. Everyone's committed to showing up, doing their best consistently.
And that leads to better results.
It does, and it creates accountability, a sense of shared responsibility.
You're not just hitting your own goals, you're supporting your team
That's right.
and celebrating each other's wins.
And this can go beyond work, too.
Really?
When you embody this consistency in your personal life, it can be inspiring to those around you.
Like your family, friends, even kids.
They see you showing up for yourself day after day.
It sets a powerful example.
It does. It's like the Seinfeld strategy is contagious.
But in a good way.
In the best way.
It's not just about you, it's about creating positive change around you.
And that's what's so cool about this strategy.
It is.
It seems so simple, but it can really change how you approach life.
My mind is officially blown. It's not just a productivity hack, it's like a philosophy.
A way of being.
And we're just getting started. In part 3, we're going to talk about how technology can supercharge the Seinfeld strategy. Ooh, now that's what I'm talking about. Can't wait to hear about the future of this method.
Okay, we're back.
Part 3 of our Seinfeld strategy deep dive.
And this is the fun part.
Oh, how so?
Because we're talking about the future. We've covered so much already.
We have.
You know, the psychology, the challenges, the real world stuff.
Yeah, huh?
But now it's time to see how tech can take this strategy to the next level.
Okay, I am so ready for some tech magic.
Haha, all right, well, just think.
Yeah.
We have all these incredible tools right at our fingertips these days.
Yeah, we do.
Apps, wearables, even AI.
Crazy.
All designed to help us track our progress, stay motivated, reach our goals.
So we can move beyond the classic calendar and red marker?
We can, although there's nothing wrong with that, of course.
Oh, for sure. I love that red marker.
Me too. But just imagine the possibilities when you combine that simplicity with the power of technology.
Okay, yeah.
Like, there are tons of habit tracking apps out there.
So messy.
Specifically designed for building and maintaining chains.
I've seen those. They're pretty cool.
They are.
You can set reminders, customize your goals, even see your progress in all these cool charts and graphs.
It's like having a personal cheerleader right in your pocket.
It is.
And some of them even has gamification built in, which is, really motivating for a lot of people.
Gamification. I'm listening.
Think points, badges, leaderboards.
Like a game.
Exactly. You're earning rewards as you hit your goals.
So instead of just seeing X's on a calendar, you're like leveling up or something.
Yeah. And it works. There's research showing that gamification can really help people stick to their habits.
I can see that. It makes it more fun.
It does. And it's not just apps either.
Okay, what else?
Wearable tech.
Oh, yeah, my smartwatch.
Smartwatches, fitness trackers, they can monitor everything these days.
They can. My fitness tracker tells me how much I move, even when I'm just puttering around the house.
Haha, it's amazing, right? And all that data, it can be so useful when combined with the Seinfeld strategy.
Okay, how so?
Imagine your wearable syncing up with your habit tracking app.
Ooh, a system that not only tracks what I'm doing, but also analyzes, like, my overall well-being and gives me personalized recommendations.
Exactly. Maybe your smartwatch reminds you to take a break when your stress levels are high, or suggests a quick meditation when your sleep's been off.
It's like having a personal coach right on your wrist.
Exactly. And all of this tech, it's designed to work in the background.
That's the best part.
It supports you without you having to do a ton of extra work.
Okay, I'm officially excited about the future of the Seinfeld strategy.
Me too.
It sounds like tech can make it even more effective, more personalized, and more accessible for everyone.
That's what we want, because at the end of the day, the Seinfeld strategy is about giving people the tools they need to take control of their lives, reach their goals, become their best selves.
I love that.
And tech can be a huge help with that.
This has been such a cool journey. I mean, we started with a comedian and his jokes.
We did.
And we talked about psychology, and now we're imagining a future where tech helps us build a better life.
It's amazing how much depth there is to this simple strategy.
It really is. You know, what's sticking with me the most is
What's that?
the Seinfeld strategy isn't just about checking boxes or building a perfect chain. It's about building a mindset.
Of consistency.
Yes. Of resilience, of always trying to improve.
And it's about showing up for yourself every day, believing that those small actions will add up to something incredible.
Absolutely. And the best part is anyone can start using this strategy right now.
You don't need anything fancy, just a commitment to taking action.
One small step at a time. And hey, if tech can make it easier, even better.
It can.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want everyone listening to think of one small action they can commit to doing every day.
What will it be?
It could be anything. Writing, practicing a skill, calling a friend.
Whatever moves you closer to your goals.
Then grab your calendar, download an app, put on that smartwatch, and start building your chain. Because as we've learned, even the smallest actions, when done consistently, can change your life.
So true. Go out there, build those chains, and let's see what we can achieve together.
That's a wrap on our Seinfeld Strategy deep dive. We hope you enjoyed it. And remember, the power is in your hands. Now go build those chains.